All right, we are back up. We are almost ready to show you the finals. We're also hoping that we have the little video we put together to reveal our preview card. Mostly, we're hoping that all of our technology is going to keep working long enough for us to be able to switch scenes and finish the show. All right, without further ado, we'll show you our latest preview card. Continuing the old school trend, some nostalgia, Nevinyrral's Disc. The original artifact sweeper, first published in the very first Magic set, way back in Alpha. It is, in fact, Larry Niven spelled backwards. And I gotta say, I played a lot with this card back in the 90s.
Yeah.
This card was the sweeper that Mono Blue Control wanted to clean up whatever snuck into play through your grip full of 20-some counters. This was the card Necro wanted to blow up the world, including your own Necropotence, which was kind of the trick that a lot of Necro decks used to do back in the day. You've probably played your fair share with this card as well?
Oh, this card is super exciting. I mean, first of all, this is the card that all the monocolor decks that didn't have good removal spells just resorted to. Like you said, like Necropotence used this aggressively. Mono Blue used it to blow up the world. This card should be really good in, I think, the draft formats as well, just to blow up the world. The interesting loophole now in the Nevinyrral's Disc, because this card was printed 23 years ago, of course, is Planeswalkers. So It'll be interesting to see, if you can build a deck that can just set this up at the right moment and then finish with any number of Planeswalkers. But Nevinyrral's Disc, I mean, as you skipped over the one thing, but it's also a tribute to the famous sci-fi fantasy writer author Larry Niven.
Yep.
So his name's in there as an anagram backwards, I believe.
Yep.
And this disc, I think you may have even in your mono blue deck, you may have even won a major tournament with Disc, but it certainly has appeared in a lot of those decks that, just didn't have, like I said, a lot of targeted removal. They'd have to resort to this. And then later on, we saw cards like Powder Keg that could be used for removal, but this was the big board sweeper.
My top result was a 6-0 at the World Championship, which was good enough to get or 7-0 actually, good enough to get my deck printed as one of those World Championship decks. So there are gold bordered Nevinyrral's Discs wandering around with my signature on them.
Very cool. It will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this works with some of the other cards in the set. But I mean, the timing on this card, of course, it comes into play tapped, which gives your opponent a turn. But you can imagine just some interactions like timing it with the World Guarder Dragon trigger on the stack, blowing up the world, making them lose all their permanents. And I can think of some other things. But it's great to have this kind of access, at least access to a sweeper in the set. So when people are playing it, they'll.
You make a good point too about Planeswalkers. It's funny. Like, I sometimes go back and play historical formats. So like, you play those mono blue control decks against modern decks, and it's like, how do I blow up a Planeswalker? I basically can't because the disc doesn't clean that up. But I haven't really seen somebody abuse it the other way and say, well, I have Planeswalkers in my Nevinyrral's Disc deck. Like back in the day, you could do that with regeneration. I remember Eric Lauer would build these mono blue control decks that would have like Ghost Ship in them.
Of course,
you blow up the world and regenerate your Ghost Ship was happened to be more times than I could count in practicing matches around Carnegie Mellon.
Good point. Destroy does allow you to regenerate. So if you had, and I'll just throw one thing out there in terms of old school Magic formats. If people are thinking about Nevinyrral's Disc, it's a great transmute artifact target because you can just run it as a singleton and then transmute it up. So even though some old school formats won't permit you to use this version, some might. So that's one use, and then it's you can always transmute it away too.
There you go. So that's our 2 preview cards for tonight. Hope you have enjoyed our trip down sort of old school nostalgia lane. The Nevi's Disc and also Gaia's Blessing, which we revealed earlier, which is coming back with the original Rebecca Gay art from Weatherlight.
Beautiful.
Definitely. And now it's time to figure out who our last member of Vintage Super League is going to be. We've got the regular season starting next week, so come back next week. Vintage Super League is going to get cranked up. Season 5 is going to use the same format we've been using. We've got 10 players. We'll do 9 weeks of round robin. People will have a new deck every 3 weeks. So, Steve, your deck is due next Monday. I don't know if you figured out what you're going to play.
Well, it is liberating to be back in the league. So I feel like maybe I'll go a little bit unconventional routes this time. Take some more risks. You can't be too predictable in this league, otherwise you'll just get nailed. But I think the big thing is going to be once you unveil the schedule and we see how we're all lined up, then people are going to be trying to figure out, well,
Right.
if I have to play Rich Shea, I'm probably going to be facing this, and so that's going to be the big first step as people begin thinking about that.
Definitely. Yeah. Seeing who your three opponents are, it's hard to figure out what you're going to play without that. So, yeah, I'll roll the schedule up tomorrow. I'll email it around to the league. It'll be you. Either Kai or David is going to be on the receiving end of that. And then, yeah, hopefully you guys will all come back next week where we'll have, 10 fresh vintage deck lists for you. Definitely curious to see sort of our first regular season weeks post Lodestone Golem. And I don't know, this metagame looks great. I was listening to your podcast. It seems like you're pretty happy with how things have worked out, and it looks pretty diverse.
Well, look at tonight. I mean, this has been unbelievably entertaining. I have to just confess, Kai's deck has been incredibly entertaining to watch. Omniscience, Draw My Deck, Burning Wish, Show and Tell, Gristlebrand, and M. Rockle. What formats in Magic, what do you really want more than just putting in a 15-15, enormous, uncounterable Eldrazi? It's just, this format's amazing, and we've seen everything that is exciting about it just about tonight. So, also the metagame tonight's been incredibly diverse, right? We've seen just about everything played: workshops, combo, oath, standstill, Sylvan Mentor. This is fantastic, and I can't wait to see one more epic match.
Yeah, one workshop deck, one storm deck, only one real mentor deck. Although David has a couple mentors in his standstill, and then a Tezzerator, a 4-color control, and interestingly, the 2 decks that have made it to the finals are two of the top 3 were the Oath of Druids decks. Sorry.
Right.
We've got Oath of Druids continuing to do pretty well. Shuhei qualified with it. Tom couldn't quite, but Kai could qualify with it here. No, yeah, you're just right. It's just a bunch of awesomeness and a pretty diverse thing. And we are ready to go. We're going to find out whether David Williams with Standstill can finally reclaim his spot in the VSL in his 3rd win-in of the last 8 days, or is the German Juggernaut going to reclaim his spot in the league? Here we go. Kai's got a Black Lotus. That's got to be good for him.
Oh, wow. Right? I love that he's got misdirection. I think it's been some time since we've seen a misdirection.
My eye goes to the Black Lotus, and you're trying to feel misdirection, aren't you?
Well, he has double counter magic, too. Wow. This is a battle. This is a fight.
I think being able to go first is big, and it looks like Kai won the initial die roll.
So Kai is going to be able to fire off a turn 1 Ancestral if he wants to, with the Lotus and Misdirection or Force of Will protect it. But Dave's hand is stacked as well. Flusterstorm against Show and Tell is fantastic. Plus he's got a Mana Drain. He needs 1 more mana to bring his Mana Drain online. And if he can resolve the Mana Drain, he can try and set up a Jace. So Dave is pretty well situated as well. This is going to be a heavyweight title match.
Fair. Yeah, not immediately obvious how this plays out. Like I said, I think I like Kai's hand better but only because he's on the play. And then Omniscience doesn't really do anything except be a blue card for Force of Will right now.
Well, Kai's going to resolve this Ancestral Recall, but then the question is, can he draw good stuff, or is he going to draw like he did in the previous matches? Nothing turn after turn.
The thing about an Oath deck is you have a lot of junk in your deck. There's just a lot of bad draws in an Oath deck because you have to get the right combination, right? You want 1 Orchard, 1 Oath. Wow, he mulliganed.
Oh my God. Do you think that was a misclick?
No. No, I think that was Kai legitimately wondering if he wanted to go all in on an Ancestral. What if Dave has a misstep? Yeah. I thought his hand was pretty good. I'm surprised by that, but no, that's not a misclick Kai's going to make. And by the way, he's got Forbidden Orchard Oath.
He does. And he's fate sealed himself or whatever scribed, and we don't know what's on top. So Dave is going to be
Wasteland versus the opponent who mulliganed.
Dave has had enough of this turn 1 or turn 2 oath. Enough with that. Now I wonder if Kai should maybe just put a creature into play. I guess it depends on what he has.
With the orchard.
He has another orchard. This has really been the Ripley's Believe It or Not night. This is just crazy plays turn after turn, and of course Dave can't find his second blue source, so he's going to be off mana drain.
Kai presumably scried that orchard to the top, but now he's drawing blind. He needs a land.
Yeah, or a mox.
He finds a land, or a mana source. Fair.
That's the problem.
They both have a Force of Will, but David has a Flusterstorm. Does David just win this fight? He does, right?
It certainly looks like it, but Dave really needs to get another blue source to feel.
Second blue source, and Williams is in tremendous shape.
To have
even as the hands sit though, David wins the counterfight over this Oath.
Yeah, but it's if Kai draws. I mean, Kai could draw a Misdirection or another Force, or even another Oath after another Mox, and David's in a similar situation. Here we go, Orchard.
Orchard number 3. Now, if you're Kai, do you just go for this? You've got Force of Will to defend it with. Your opponent has only one blue source and plays Mana Drain.
I think you do.
I think you go for it as well.
Yeah,
mulliganed. You can't just sit around and wait. So he's going to go for Oath of Druids.
If he draws another mana source, he can show and tell Omniscience and then Burning Wish too. So that's going to be game. That's going to be game over. So you go in here, you just need one more mana. But as you said, Dave is going to win this counter battle, assuming he does it right. He's going to be pretty depleted though. Oh no,
right.
He pitched the what did he just pitch? The dig. Okay, I didn't see the dig.
Yeah, he kept Jace. He finds
he's still gonna set up Drain Jace, which is a pretty good thing to set up. As long as he can find another blue, which could be a long way off.
Now, interestingly, I think Kai is wondering if he really wants to fight over Oath. Because, like you say, if he comes up with a third mana source for Show and Tell,
he wins. He's going to be able to. He's going to Show and Tell on the Omniscience, Burning Wish for Enter the Infinite, draw his whole deck,
and Storm kill him. So Williams is going to keep fighting over the Oath. So David wins this fight, but Kai is, I think, okay with depleting David's hand of counters. Who's going to draw the mana source first, right? If Kai draws if Kai draws a third mana for Show and Tell before David draws a second blue mana drain, then I think Kai wins.
Exactly right. I think you got to give Kai a little bit of that advantage. But
David gets the first draw step.
He gets the first draw step, and drum roll.
Oh, misstep.
We have seen so much luck like this tonight. Just close, but no cigar. For damage swinging in, which really is Burning Wish.
Burning Wish. I don't think Burning Wish gets anything relevant here. I think it's a pretty dead draw.
Yeah, you could think about using it, but I don't even know what you would get at this point. Maybe like a balance. Yeah, probably nothing even there to get. Here we go, Mentor with no white mana.
Just this single basic island. By the way, it's like a 4-turn clock between Mishra and the two spirits.
Right. Kai
wins on the spot. Kai doesn't actually need any life.
I feel I'm kind of rooting for Kai because I just want to see this happen at least once. I just want to see this.
Oh! Kai finds an island before David can. Did this really just happen?
This is crazy.
Sitting on Jace, Misstep, Mana Drain, Mentor, can't cast any of them, and now Show and Tell. I mean, Williams can put a Mentor into play, but I think Omniscience, Burning Wish can get Enter the Infinite, which can draw Kai's entire library, which can then Tendrils kill.
Speaking of loopholes with Disc, Show and Tell also has the Planeswalker loophole.
Yeah, you can't put Jace into play.
Here we go. I haven't gotten to see Kai actually do this yet. He
hasn't had a chance.
Yeah, in the match he was actually unable to do so, and he showed tremendous patience there, not using the Black Lotus, to play the Demonic Tutor to tap down, and really thinking through. He's getting the Thoughtseize first.
He's got another Burning Wish.
Right. No, he can afford to clear the route, clear the air. He wants to make sure that his Enter the Infinite draw my deck resolves. So we're gonna get to enjoy this little combo out. But of course, the one counter spell that Dave is actually able to deploy to the stack. Here we go. Assuming there's no misclicks on Kai's part. That was
Enter the Infinite. Draw your entire library, then put one card back on top. David has seen enough. He knows how this works.
That art is amazing, by the way. Yeah, this is cool. I've never seen this happen in Vintage, actually. I've never seen it actually executed. Wow.
Unbelievable. Wow, I thought David had that game. I really thought he did. I guess Kai's mulligan decision was good.
Yeah, Paul's pointing that out in the chat. It was a surprising to me, at least, and very impressive and disciplined mulligan. But he used the scry to great effect. So sideboarding here, Dave is taking out the supreme verdict that he had main deck. Totally understandable.
Sure.
What do you bring in here? Do you bring in the Arcane Labs? It looks like he might be doing that.
Oh, interesting. Arcane Lab beats the Enter the Infinite Storm combo.
Yeah.
Containment Priest is coming in as well, I think. And by the way, Kai was misunderstanding a Containment Priest. We were talking in the last game about how David had a Containment Priest against Martel's Salvager's Oath deck. And a lot of times the way the Salvager's Oath deck can beat a Grafdigger's Cage is to just activate Oath. The Salvager's fails to come into play because of the Grafdigger's Cage, but then you get to draw it and hardcast it. Against a Containment Priest, though, it gets exiled. So that trick doesn't work against Containment Priest.
No,
anyway, I don't know how relevant that is here. I mean, obviously David wants to not lose to an Oath, so the Containment Priest are absolutely
he is terrified of Oaths. I can guarantee you that. I mean, he's had to suffer probably some of the most Oath-based indignities in this preseason we've seen so far.
This is his third match against it, right?
Yeah, he does. He finally wants to win it, right? I mean, in this 8-player tournament, he wants to make sure he wins it. I think he's come prepared. But Kai is bringing in Abrupt Decays.
Yeah, Abrupt Decays are potentially huge here. Kai has an answer that Tom just didn't really have. Interesting. Yeah, Williams is, I guess he's 2-1 against Oath so far, but the loss was the winning in against Shuhei last week.
I'm certainly hoping for a third game, so I've got to pull for David here.
Fair enough.
Wow. Oh,
That can't be a good hand.
Kai's already mulliganed to 5, and his hand is terrible. And Dave has
one off the edge.
Okay. Well, Dave has that Eternal Mystery hand, right? Triple counterspell, no blue mana. Do you keep it? I think
I mean, you can still play the Misstep and the Force. I think yes.
I would keep it. I would keep it, especially when you see Kai as mulligan this deeply. Oh wait, no, he at least has 6 cards, but I would still keep it. Wow, waste, strip. Kai is presumably going to throw one of these Preordains out, which is going to get hit by Misstep. Kai is going to be in Wasteland territory. Kai has not found any basics, nor has he found fetch, so all 3 of his lands are going to be removed. And Dave, of course, finds pitch counter magic.
Yeah, that's great. He gets to Misstep the Preordain now. He's going to destroy all 3 of Kai's lands and put them in top deck mode.
Which is exactly where Dave wants to be, right? I mean,
agreed.
Dave wants to put Kai in a position where he can't combo out. And of course, Dave will continue to draw jank like Omniscience in situations like this. So Dave will draw better than Kai, I assume.
That is the plan. I mean, I thought Cloak Wasteland last game was going to be enough to stop Kai. Remember, Kai had to top deck lands, had to top deck his way into...
He's found a third pitch spell.
That one's tough to pitch.
Yeah. It is tough, but you could imagine a long game where it actually ends up mattering.
Kai sees the strip mine. Do you even play the Orchard? I think you hold it, right?
At this point, I believe you do. You just want to get Mox Orchard Oath. Dave may have made him... okay, well...
Play the Orchard. And then ship the turn.
Dave decides to, on his end step, blow it. That's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He decided that was his plan, so wasn't going to wait.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, here we go. Top deck mode, the exact opposite of the match, the game that we saw before.
No permanence on either side of the table.
We really have seen every extreme in Vintage tonight, just about, right? I mean, or at least between the last couple of matches last week and this, we've seen just about everything that can possibly happen. And Kai finds, David has found one of his basic lands, and Kai has found a fetch. So he's managed to stunt the mana denial, but Dave is in a situation where he has to decide what to do here. That Mox was a very good top deck for Kai because it allows him to not only play half the cards in his hand, including the Abrupt Decay. If he were to find
does he want to?
Yeah, does he want to? If he finds a tropical island, he cannot play Burning Wish. I'm not sure what Burning Wish gets you here.
Yeah, I feel like Burning Wish is mostly there for the finish. It's a pretty junky card on the way up.
Does he have Yogwill in the sideboard too? Or
I don't think so. I looked earlier and I don't think he has a Yogwill anywhere in his 75, which I meant to ask him about when we had him in the booth, and I didn't get to.
I like the discipline. There on Dave's part, because if Dave can just draw, what's interesting is Dave can brainstorm, and if he can find a land that get the standstill down, he's going to be end step brainstorm. There's some lands,
including a fetch land. So Williams, everything is turned on now. He's got, I'm pretty sure that's a fetch land on the edge of the screen. He's got a Mishra. He's got a Pearl. He can standstill. He can Containment Priest. He can Mana Drain.
Containment Priest does stop show and tell, correct? Let me just make sure I'm correct on that.
Oh, God.
Yes, it has to be played. No.
Well, it doesn't stop it certainly wouldn't stop the Omniscience from coming down.
The Omniscience. Show and tell. No. But it would stop him if he were to play the Gristlebrand.
But if you're putting the Containment Priest into play via show and tell, then it probably doesn't work.
Yeah.
They show up at the same time, I'm guessing.
Well, this is one of these. We've seen Dave Williams twice break his own standstills in these matches in the last couple weeks. So I'm just wondering if Dave wants to put himself in a position where he plays the standstill, knowing he may at some point want to play the Containment Priest, or just hold the Containment Priest to play that first, knowing its in full recognition of its strategic significance.
Well, I'm pretty sure the top card of Williams' library is a Mishra's Factory.
Right. So he just wants to hold up Mana Drain here. Yeah. You can't blame him for that. That makes perfect sense. It allows him to play the Containment Priest. I like this play. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but it's a good play.
Wow. Kai has some very expensive cards in his hand.
Yeah.
Grizzlebrand is like the baby. There are two cards in his hand that are more expensive than Grizzlebrand as he resolves that brainstorm.
He just drew both of his Oath creatures, right?
Yes.
So that's a huge problem for him.
Yes, it is.
If he wants Oath to be a meaningful threat, at this point it's not. But he does have Abrupt Decay. He does have Abrupt Decay to deal with that. Now's the time when this standstill is gonna connect, right? If you're Dave, you play the standstill now. You've got to, right? Maybe not. So. Maybe not. You don't maximize your counter magic if you play the standstill. But if you're gonna play it, now's the time. So
you have 4 power worth of creatures. Icing the board state seems good, but he doesn't even know if Kai can cast spells.
Yeah.
I mean, Kai's gonna play an Oath. Of course, now here's the weird part. Know that his answer to your Containment Priest is an Abrupt Decay, which you're not going to be able to fight over.
And we also know Kai is going to have to, unfortunately, draw this Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, his top card is the Grizzlebrand.
The only reason to drain here would just be to get some mana, but I think that's, or he could actually hardcast Mindbreak Trap, but I don't think he's going to ultimately conclude doing either one of those makes the most amount of sense. He's going to realize that
it's a weird spot when they have Abrupt Decay.
It is a little bit dangerous, exactly. But bear in mind also, Mindbreak Trap can counter Abrupt Decay.
Oh my God, you're right. Mindbreak Trap can actually exile the Abrupt Decay. You're not countering it; you're exiling it.
Right. But the trick is, if he keeps attacking with the factory, then he's going to turn off the the Mindbreak Trap on Abrupt Decay. Interesting. Mana Drain. I don't like that play, but I can certainly understand the reasoning.
Yeah, no, I can understand the reasoning as well. It's this fear of an Abrupt Decay blowing up your answer to Oath.
Of course, we know that the Oath actually has no value here.
Yeah, Kai's on a standstill. Kai's on a show and tell plan. It's a true story.
Yeah.
All right, Mana Drain mana. He does not have 3 blue, so he cannot stand still. Plus,
oh God, you got to play the Mox first. You got to play the Mox first. He just forgot to play the Mox first. Oh well. What?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oops.
Dave. Oh no.
He says he misclicked. That's not good. He's accidentally played a Mox into his own standstill to give Kai 3 cards plus lose the standstill.
He's moved too fast. Well, I guess that's 3 times we've seen Dave break his own standstill.
Yeah, he put in the chat that he was attempting to click on the Mishra's Factory and missed.
Maybe Dave should just not play standstills. It'll just be...
Wow, I mean, I know the etiquette in this league. A lot of people like to try to just fix things like this. Like nobody wants to actually win on a misclick.
No way to fix
this.
That.
This is super hard to fix, though. There isn't really a way.
Dave is still in this, but that was really brutal. Dave still can't. Kai still can't play at least the cards that we see, show and tell, and if we could get our producer to pull up the Containment Priest, I just want to make sure I know exactly what Containment Priest does. Yeah, you cannot show and tell the creature, so you're right. He's totally... Well, there's the land he needed. God. Well... Dave went from having it all to... that's unfortunate.
Kai can force back. Wow. Show and Tell is going to resolve, which means Omniscience is going to resolve, which means Emrakul and Grizzlebrand and attack for the win on the extra turn.
I wonder, certainly Dave misclicked, but I wonder if playing that Mana Drain sort of induced those, if he didn't play the Mana Drain, if he wouldn't have done those misclicks. But
unbelievable. Crazy. Now, was Kai going to win that anyway?
No. I really, really doubt it. Between the standstill, if he didn't Mana Drain the Oath, he would have 3 counter spells in hand, plus standstill, plus Containment Priest in hand.
No, I meant from the misclick. Like the Mana Drain is a Judgment Claw, which I think is thoroughly defensible. Yeah. It's just you hate to win on a misclick.
No, I don't think if he misclicks, I don't think Kai wins that.
Well, I mean, it'll take Kai a couple of turns to find a land, and then when he does go for the show and tell, he'll be breaking David's standstill.
That's not how he'll do it. That's not how it would go down. What he would do is he would EOT Abrupt Decay on the Containment Priest, right?
Okay.
To break the standstill.
Sure.
And then he would untap and show and tell. And I think at that point he probably is not going to be able to get it through. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, at some level, it comes down to whether Dave he didn't have enough permission to actually win the fight there.
Yeah, we don't know what he would have drawn either, unfortunately.
I think honestly, it comes down to what's on top of David's deck. Like Kai, it'll take him a couple of turns, so David gets a couple of draw steps, and then he gets the 3 cards off the standstill. And between those, like 5-ish cards, he has to go from losing the fight over show and tell to winning the fight over show and tell.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, Kai may win that anyway. Kai's also up a game, right? So, wow, feel brutally bad for.
Feel
bad for Dave.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do a winner interview. I know Kai he's actually an hour ahead of East Coast time, so we're gonna let him get to sleep. He's got to get up for work in the morning. But there you see the bracket. Kai Buddha reclaims the spot in the Vintage Super League. He, like you, got thrown into this tournament by being tied for last in Season 4, and then emerges from the tournament to reclaim his spot in Season 5. David Williams loses. He came super close. He came about as close as you can come. He losing 3 different win-and-ins to not quite get a spot back into the league.
In Kai's defense, Kai played a sweet deck. I loved Kai's deck. We got to see some of the coolest things that you can possibly do in the game of Magic, let alone Vintage, with Kai's deck. It's just kind of a bummer how that ended up, but Kai deserves all the credit in the world. He went through a murderer's row, and he played really, really well tonight. Yeah. So it's and Kai is, of course, one of the greatest Magic players of all time, so that doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, no, it's hard to complain about having Kai Buddha in the Vintage Super League. Right? I think we will all be happy to have Kai around. He is good times, both from a deck building point of view, from a playing point of view, and from a commentary point of view. I mean, look, whatever happened in this tournament, we knew we were going to have a sweet league set up. And now we know everybody. There's your win over David Williams to claim your spot. You see Paul Reitzel cruising through the winner's bracket with a mono white Hate Bears deck, white weenie, if you will. Be interested to see if that's what he brings next week. And there's Brian Kelly, knocked out Bob Maher, Shuhei with the other win over David Williams. Kai Buda gets in tonight. The 5 of them get to join the 5 of us who managed to not finish last in Season 4, which was me, the only guy not in the playoffs, but still in the league. And then David Ochoa, Luis Scott Vargas, Eric Froelich, and Rich Shea. It's going to be a fun season. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to get off the bench. I know you've been playing for the last couple weeks. You got this week off, but I'm putting me in. Time to build. Time to actually play instead of just watching other people play. I'm super excited about next week.
And I know you guys have been testing a lot of different decks in the dailies and stuff, so I'm really excited to see what you come up with. And
did you see the pretty one that got published with my name on it from last weekend?
Yeah, I think it was, what was it, like mono white or something, Hate Bears?
Yeah, it was basically, I took Rietzel's deck and like shuffled it, but I mean, it was mono white Hate Bears. Like, there's a real deck there. Like, I mean, I went, to be fair, I barely put up the 3-1. I had trouble beating Thrashing Wumpus, which I somehow managed to lose games to, not once, but twice. 2 different opponents sideboarded Thrashing Wumpus in out of their Storm deck sideboard to just kill all of my 1 and 2 toughness white creatures.
Well, 2000 technology sometimes works. When you're a Storm player, you have to have some answer for these Hate Bears decks, right?
I'd be like, Thalia, Spirit of the Labyrinth, what are they going to do? Oh, that's not what I was expecting.
Dark Ritual, Black Lotus, Thrashing Wumpus.
Yeah, one guy did it turn 2 off a Lotus. I was just like, what is going on? I mean, apparently, I don't have a lot of experience with like white weaning and vintage, I got to admit. So I'm exploring like parts of people's sideboards that I've never had played against me before. So it was good times.
Great stuff. And that's stuff that we probably wouldn't have seen in a Lodestone Golem heavy environment. So I'm excited to see what people come up with. Should be great.
Should be great. So come back next week. We'll get the regular season started. We'll have a fresh set of decks. We'll have 5 more matches of Vintage for you. Hope you guys have enjoyed the play-in tournaments. See you next week.